Welcome, everybody, to the Vaguely Familiar podcast. This is the backward point edition of the podcast. And in the backward point edition, we talk about cricket, Pakistan cricket, cricket around the world. And today we are going to discuss a very, very entertaining series.
We just finished recording a Spotify Wrapped, and this is going to be, I guess, the Pakistan versus Bangladesh series Wrapped.
Yeah, which is not as exciting as our Spotify wrap at all.
It really wasn't. Maybe a couple of matches, like the third T20I was very exciting to watch.
Sure.
That last test match that
Last
finished this
session.
morning was insanely compelling to watch. Had me up at 6 in the morning and finished.
Were you actually up at 6 in the morning?
I was for other reasons, but I ended up watching that match, yes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to say that corporate slavery did not get to you.
Cricket first. Cricket
Cricket
comes
first. Remember, you've seen Ted Lasso, right? That guy that's always screaming, "Football is life."
Yeah.
You are Danny.
Yeah. Cricket is life. It is. What can I say?
It is. It truly is.
But
let me
I
ask you
think
this.
one of the reasons why this whole tour was so non-exciting was
Yeah.
because of the pitches were so bad. They were so negative. I mean, when Pakistan was walking into the T20I series,
Yeah.
they were going off they had won 5 out of 6 games, but we were still in doubt if they would be able to win against Bangladesh,
Yeah.
just because of how Australia played here in the last tour, just because of how New Zealand played, and because of just the quality of the pitches out there. They're
Yeah.
so bad. They're not pacer friendly. The ball stays low. It doesn't come off the bat too well.
I
They're
saw-
low scoring matches.
Yeah, you're right. And I saw a little bit of the test match, and there was one ball in particular where Shaheen Afridi was bowling at 149, and it was a good length bowl, and the ball did not bounce more than higher than the
It just died out. And
batsman's legs. And to be fair, our Bengali brothers out there are quite short. So if the ball is not even bouncing higher than your kneecaps, then there's something wrong with the pitch.
exactly, and a lot of the Bangladeshi the fans, they want to know how their cricket can improve, and how they can take it to the next level. I think they do have the talent, but if you keep preparing pitches that are so negative and that are so bad, that don't encourage good fast bowling or that don't encourage quality batting, you're never going to see your cricket go up. You might beat Australia or New Zealand here on then by having 2 or 3 spinners on, but at the end of the day, your cricket is not progressing, and you can see the effects that had of them in the World Cup. They just gave no fight to any team, and most of their games were one-sided.
Would you say that because this is sort of, I wouldn't say it's cheating, but it's kind of biased on one team's favor and not the others? Should the ICC have regulated pitches?
No, okay, so
Like, what I'm
home
trying to
advantage is a thing, right?
No, I'm fine with home advantages and pitches. Like even in football, they have different size and different lengths of pitches, and some like Wembley is huge, but then the King Power is a bit smaller, and so there's advantages and disadvantages to that. What I'm saying is that if, let's say, an ICC official comes in and regulates pitches, like you can have the pitch that you want, but it has to be playable. Per
So
se.
they do that, but only in ICC events. So you're always going to see, probably like more recently, higher scoring matches in ICC events, because ICC has a say in how the pitch is curated.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the home series, it's ICC has no say. It's
But-
just the home cricket board. But should they? The question
Should
is,
they?
perhaps when the games are finishing, like that second test match, it finished literally like in maybe 2 days, 2.5 days.
2.5 days.
We were not expecting to have a result.
Even the
and
third test match, I think there was only like 200 or something over bowled.
there was only 2 test matches.
No, it's the second test match what I'm talking
Second
about.
test match, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
What am I thinking about? Oh, I'm thinking about T20s. My bad. But yeah, the second test match, only 200 or something, 200 odd overs were bowled in a 5-day test match. Okay, given 1.5 of those days were washed away, but what are we trying to, like, what precedent are we setting here with test matches that are, the pitches that are so lazy
Yeah.
that it literally bores me.
I wanted
I'm
to
like,
talk about things that we liked, players that really emerged, and
how shiny Sajid Khan's head is. It's a very shiny
Absolutely.
head, my guy.
absolutely, I want to talk about him as well because
Glistened in the
he's
sun.
been Big discovery for us as well, and like literally the reason why we won the second Test match. But I think if you rewind back to the T20Is,
Yeah.
I just loved how um, the Pakistan team, the selectors, the captain, how consistent they've been with the team selection.
Yeah.
Like we only had one or two changes, and you don't often attach the word or associate the word consistent with the Pakistan cricket team, especially when it comes to selection. You always see after big ICC tournaments a huge shuffle going on, but you can clearly see Babar Azam is in charge. He's picking his own players, and he's persisting. You know, that's how you develop
A
players.
great thing to see was that they didn't like give up on Hassan Ali,
Absolutely,
and he
you
came back
can't.
with a bang.
You can. Hassan Ali is a match winner.
Yeah.
We spoke about this in the last podcast that we did, wrapping up the World Cup. That Hassan Ali is a match winner. He has been a prolific wicket taker for
Yeah.
Pakistan across all formats this year. I think he's up there with Shaheen in terms of most wickets, but I think he has a better average and a better strike rate. So I mean, on any given day, Hassan can win you matches, and I think he was a man of the match in one of the T20Is after his comeback. So you can see, like even on these dead pitches, Hassan is being so effective. Even Shaheen. So kudos to them. This
Shine was
year,
bowling like an angry person. Like it was so fun to see him like charging in, especially in the T20s. It was great.
yeah, he seems experienced now. He seems like he
Yeah.
knows what he's doing. He has more knowledge of bowling.
How old is he?
He's 21. He's 21, and he has
Wow.
nobody has taken more wickets than Shaheen since his debut.
That's insane.
Nobody has taken more Test four wicket hauls than Shaheen since his debut.
That's insane. That's amazing to hear.
And there's one stat that I really, really hope, and I know I have a feeling, and I hope that Shaheen does break this. Is that Pakistan is oftentimes considered the land of pacers, the land of fast bowlers, but the last Pakistani fast bowler to take 200 Test wickets was Waqar Yunus. Take that in.
Wow.
There's only been
Asif?
3 Pakistan pacers who have taken more than 200 Test wickets.
How many did Asif take?
Asif just over 100.
And Shoaib?
Shoaib 178. Umar Gul 178, I think again. So
Wow.
the last, like again, the last
insane.
Pakistani pacer to hit 200 Test wickets was Waqar Yunus. So I really hope Hassan and Shaheen, the way that they're playing, if they keep prioritizing Test match cricket, they should cross that barrier in no time.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good stat to know. Just especially that now that we've figured out that Waqar was literally retired in 2003.
Yes.
So that's a long time. It's almost 20 years since another bowler has gone past that. It'll be nice to see keep an eye out on that.
Yep.
Which series was more favorable for you? Which one did you enjoy more? I think the T20Is because the tests were quite dead rubber.
They were, and I think the weather didn't help as much as
No.
well. The T20Is were good. We got to see a lot of the players on the bench get a chance.
Yeah.
Haider Ali was very impressive. Mohammad Nawaz, his batting has improved so much. He's won us that last that last T20 on the last ball. So it's good to see that Pakistan is not relying on just a few players, but we've seen I think 11 different man of the match award winners and
Yeah.
11 different matches, which shows how diverse this team is and how many match winners that there are. You know, on any given day, anybody can put their hands up. One hand, not both hands, and win you the game.
I think it's very interesting that you talked about consistency in the start of the pod. That is one thing that you don't really associate with Pakistan team. But are we getting into a habit of being consistent? Because this is the streak that continued from the T20 World Cup and a little bit before that even has sort of bled into the Bangladesh series, and now we're going to the West Indies series playing at home. Like, are we turning into a consistent team, or are we just playing oppositions that are a bit weaker than us?
No,
Or
I
is it
think regardless of the results of the matches, I think it's more even of the decision making. Like Pakistan went with an unchanged Test match side in both games, right? And I think this is credits to the post Misbah era and the beginning of the Babar Azam era. And Babar knows what he's doing. He has picked out his bunch of players, and I think we're gonna see these players in
Blossom with
action for
them.
the next I would say, at least a couple of years.
Yeah.
And he's building a team towards the next World Cup, even a good test team as well.
You think he's eyeing the Test Championship as well?
I think so. I think,
Let me put this out there in the world. Let me manifest this. Pakistan versus India 5-match Test series.
I was going to say that would be a treat for the eyes to see.
And play them in Australia.
Play them in Dubai.
Play them in, no, not Dubai. Play them in Australia.
Okay, play them in Australia or
Play them in
or
England.
even in England.
That would be so much fun. Imagine 5 Test matches in England in the summertime.
But
Holy cow.
the problem that people have with the World Test Championship finals is that it's a 1-match game. So again, you're gonna like bank on 2 years of test performances on that one match. How you perform on that one stretch of 5 days.
Yeah, that's not smart.
So
Because what if it ends in a draw?
no, they have reserve days. If it rains, but if you're talking like if the game ends in a draw, then I think that's the beauty of the game.
That's BS. I don't.
But test matches are here to stay.
like even the Ashes have 5. There's 5 Test matches in the Ashes, and that's amazing because that's so much fun.
Actually, there's also a great stat where I think it's been a few decades since Pakistan has played a 5-match test series.
That's insane.
It's been so many years, and a lot of credit has to do with the scheduling and how much more recently T20 cricket has become a massive seller.
Yeah.
Right? There's more eyeballs, there's more ads, there's more money to make, and cricket boards are more inclined on reducing test matches or even ODIs in general
Yeah.
to have more T20s.
What I've been seeing recently is that the trend is 1 or 2 Test matches, 3 ODIs, and 3 T20s. Sometimes 2 ODIs, 5 T20s. Like I've even seen that, and that's like, I don't know if I'm old school here, but I enjoy a really good Test match better than a T20.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Like it's so much fun watching the Ashes right now. Like, we're talking about this. First day of the Ashes was so much fun because
first ball was so much fun.
yeah, it was a bad shot, but by my Roy Burns.
Roy Burns.
Come on, my guy, you can do better than that. But like, what my point remains: watching Test matches, especially rivals like England and Australia, is so much fun.
There's so much history behind that. 140 years of Ashes cricket history.
Yeah, and then for sure that too. But then Test nations who haven't played Test matches against each other, like India and Pakistan, since 2007.
7, yeah.
Come on, man. That Test match, you're not telling me that would get advertisers and eyeballs on that Test match?
You will.
A prime Kohli, a prime Babar Azam on it in the best form of cricket that can ever be played. That would sell a lot of tickets, firstly, and that would sell a lot of real estate on TV. Make it happen. Let's do it.
I mean, India, Pakistan, regardless of the format, regardless of the location, it is the Super Bowl of cricket.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Hands down.
Hands down.
So I hope it happens. But again, reverting back to this series.
Yeah.
I was also excited to finally see the debut of Dahani. A
Yeah.
lot of talk around him. People were like, let's throw him into the World Cup team, the playing
No.
11.
I'm so glad that didn't
And
happen.
You see, this guy does not have much first-class cricket or even T20 cricket behind him. And to just throw him in the World Cup was going to be a bad idea. I'm glad Pakistan went for an unchanged team for the whole 6 matches.
But it was good to have him in the squad.
It was
It was
good
so
to know
much
that he's
fun to
there.
see the World Cup through his eyes. He was having so much fun, starstruck at every point. It was just a great
Taking
time.
pictures with Dhoni, meeting all the ex-cricketers and legends. I think he just has a great energy to him, a
Yeah.
positive vibe,
Yeah. Good guy.
a good team man, you can say.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to see how his career spans out.
Yeah.
Because he does seem like somebody who has a great action, a great run up. He balls at good pace. He can swing the ball into the righty. And he has good Yorkers. I think he's quicker than he looks. Some
Yeah.
people are quick off the deck, and I think he's one of those bowlers. So to have him in your armory, going into the next World Cup in Australia,
Yeah.
it's going to be great to see.
I think it would be really interesting to see him during the PSL as well, which is happening in January. And it's January, right?
January.
Yeah. Oh my God, I might be able to catch a few games then. Is it happening in Karachi at all?
It's the end of January, so I think it might be before you're coming back.
I might catch a game or two. You never know. Live, vaguely familiar podcast from Karachi Stadium.
Let's do it.
But yeah, so it'll be amazing to see him blossom more in the PSL. The baller that I wanted to talk about that we quickly touched upon and made fun of his head was Sajid Khan. Where did he
Yes.
come from?
There's a
That
lot of
was
talks
it feels like he just came out of nowhere.
in the Pakistan domestic circuit that there's no off spinners going around. And then this guy came around last year. He took the most wickets in the Qais Aslam Trophy. I think it was 50 plus wickets at a great average. I think his team was also in the finals.
No.
And he has a very unorthodox bowling action. Like, you can't compare him with Saqlain Mushtaq or Shoaib Malik or Hafiz, because it's almost like he's bowling on the wrong foot.
It's
And
very awkward, and it feels
Yeah.
like it's coming from the other hand, but it's actually the right hand. And as a former spinner, not a really good one, but I can attest that the way he loops the ball, and it's still it loops high enough that it makes the batsman want to come out and play, but it breaks enough that the batsman is deceived. And
Yeah.
most of the outs that the Bengali players went for were shots. They were trying to play him
Yeah.
down the ground, and it was just a lot of breaking, and they were mistiming him and getting caught. And he was breaking the ball like a lot of deviation from the pitch. It was just a lot of fun to see that kind of bowling happening, because I just love a really good spinner.
It also looked like he had a really good arm ball, because coming back to the Bangladeshi batsmen, they just seemed low on confidence, and they were playing a ball on the back foot that should have been played on the front foot, and they're getting LBW, or they were just nicking it off to slips.
Yeah.
Again, great field positioning and a good ball, good tactical decision making by Babar Azam.
Aggressive captaining.
Bringing Sajid Khan early on into the innings, using and exploiting the conditions that were there, that were spinner friendly. Again, nothing to take away from Sajid himself. He bowled great lines, great lengths, good speed, good revs on the ball, good flight. So I think a combination of all that. And I'm a huge supporter of bringing in players that are seasoned players, and you become a seasoned player by playing more domestic cricket.
Yeah.
Which is why I wasn't that big of in a favor of making Abdullah Shafique debut.
But he played
think-
really well.
There's a lot of hype around him. He is supposedly the next big thing in Pakistan cricket.
Okay, but he's kind of sustaining that hype by playing really well.
He is, and I think he could be.
His partnerships with Abid
could-
Ali, was it? Was
He
really
could
good.
factually be the next player if he plays more domestic cricket, right? You look at Pakistan wants to emulate what England and Australia do, and if you look at the players that debut for them, they've been through a rigorous domestic seasons, multiple seasons, right? And if you compare that with Abdullah Shafique, he has played maybe one or two first-class matches, and maybe a handful of T20s and List A matches,
Yeah.
right? So and he's been traveling with the team for the past 1 year. I think it would have been better for him to be back home and playing domestic cricket
Yeah.
rather than traveling with the team and just being on the bench. Yeah, I understand he's with international coaches and whatnot, but there's no substitute for match practice, for game practice, for
Yeah.
being on the pitch and making runs. Right? You learn by making runs. So,
Totally. I totally agree. But I think he has a really bright future, because the way that he was controlling the game, him and Abid in the start, it was so much fun to see them go at it very calmly, very really possessively, like they knew what they were doing.
technically very sound. He is.
Oh yeah. And I was really happy to see that after a very long time, a Pakistani opener got a player of the series, and I was like, hey, that's a good sign that we're building from the top this time, and we don't have to rely on Babar and Rizwan to come down the order.
There's also a lot of talks on Abid Ali and how I saw a stat where his averages against the top 5 teams, and then his averages against Bangladesh, Zimbabwe, and other countries, and even his averages in
Is there a disparity?
there's a huge disparity. So I think if Abid wants to make himself known as
A consistent
a
opener.
consistent or a world class opener, he needs to score runs in the SENA countries: South Africa, England, New Zealand, Australia. And I hope that
Interesting.
whenever he does get the chance, that he can prove his worth. Because a lot of the reasons why we call Babar world class is because he has a century in Australia, he has centuries
in England,
in England, he has a century in South Africa.
New Zealand.
New Zealand, he does not have a century, but he
Test?
scored no test centuries
Oh,
in New Zealand.
interesting.
He hasn't played a test match, and he actually debuted in New Zealand, I think.
Exactly.
He scored a 90 odd, and then he has, I think, a couple of ODI 50s, T20 50.
They haven't played a lot in
century.
New Zealand
No,
as well.
I think last season he broke his thumb, so he missed out on the 2 matches there. But again, to be proven as a great batsman, you need to perform in all those countries against those oppositions
Yeah.
in those conditions.
So how much credit would you give Ram my mom's can you hear my mom? How much credit would you give Rambo for this consistency?
To be honest, I would give him a lot of credit
Yeah.
only because he has brought on the Imran Khan mantra where the captain needs to be given full authority to make his decisions, to pick his team, because ultimately it's the captain who is fighting the team, on the
Yeah.
field.
Yeah.
So and the captain has a certain vision. And again, going back, when you look at one of the greatest teams of all times, you always associate the captain with that team.
Yeah.
You always say that was Ricky Ponting's team. You always go back and be like, that World Cup India won, that was Dhoni's team.
Yeah.
So a lot
Currently
of
it's
credit.
Kohli's team.
Yeah.
And yeah.
By the way, not really, because they've stripped away all white ball captaincy from Kohli. Just happened today. Rohit Sharma is the new white ball captain.
What?
Yes. So, and this kind of
I didn't
goes.
know this.
Yeah, this happened today. We wanna do a podcast on Kohli, and I wouldn't say his demise, but he hasn't been
His
performing at the same level.
Wow, yeah. Okay, so a Kohli podcast is definitely in the works. We'll have to do a bit more research because that was news to me that they did that today. He's stripped of all white ball captaincy, you said, and he's still test captain,
Yes.
but not for long, probably.
Yeah, because they've given all the white ball captaincy to Rohit Sharma, and they've also made Rohit Sharma vice captain of the Test team.
So they're
So
trying
I
to
mean, you don't even
transition.
get these many promotions, and you're at work.
This
Fans are
corporate
giving like
slavery is always back.
back-to-back promotions. So I don't know what's going on, but
Wow.
I know they're looking forward to the next World Cup and the World T20 as well. But maybe there was a better way to give Goldie a better send-off from captaincy.
I mean, his T20 World Cup journey was pretty bad.
He has
It was
20.
pretty abysmal.
He has 20 plus centuries as an Indian captain with an average of 74 in ODIs.
How many wins?
I would say his win percentage is up there in the low 60s.
Okay,
anything.
that's pretty good.
So he's been a great captain, but it's only because he hasn't been able to win
Any
any
trophies?
ICC tournaments or events that maybe they're thinking that from a captaincy point of view, he does not have what it takes because the IPL is also a huge thing in India. He has not been able to win the IPL trophy. He stepped down from captaincy for RCB.
RCB.
So it's I don't know what's going
Damn.
on, man.
That's a lot of Kohli drama.
Kohli is the LeBron of our generation.
He is. He truly is. He truly is. You can hate him, but you can't disagree with the fact that he's probably the greatest of all time.
Yes. Yeah.
Same thing with LeBron, right? Wow. I mean, we can keep talking about Kohli as much as we want, but to wrap it up and seal the deal on this Bangladesh win, what would you like to see happen forward in the West Indies series? Do you think we should keep this team in Pakistan, or do you think we should experiment a little bit more? Because West Indies is they're not the best team right now. They're struggling themselves. I think it would be nice to see a little bit more experimentation, see how the young chaps are doing, get the bench a bit warmed up for whatever comes next. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree, and they've given rest to Hassan Ali for
Yeah.
the series, which is good to see. Workload management is a lot that we talk about.
Load management.
Load management.
Kawhi Leonard.
So yeah, you can definitely try out, people that have been warming the bench
Yeah.
and see how they fit, and because you got to plan for the next World Cup from here on.
Yeah.
Which is again, I'm gonna bring this up again, which brings up the question: does Shoaib Malik fit into your next World Cup plans that are in
Wow.
Australia? He doesn't average very good there. Do we need him there? How much is his experience? Is his experience really worth? I really feel like Iftikhar Ahmed is a good like for like replacement for him.
I guess it depends on how this season goes.
Yes, what happens
Right.
to Mohammad Hafiz? Has he played his last match for Pakistan? It's going to be tough to say. But looking forward to the West Indies series.
Yeah. Totally.
I'm backing the boys to win this, and I just want to see Babar playing his best cricket.
Yeah, which he is. Let's be honest.
And I was kind of disappointed. I was looking forward to play resuming for the second test because I was hoping that Babar would score his 6th Test match 100, which he didn't. I think he got a tough decision. But he needs to realize in order to be considered as one of the greatest of all time, he needs to score test match hundreds.
Yeah, I agree.
Test match hundreds.
Yep.
And he needs to improve his conversion ratio from 50s to 100.
In test
I
matches.
think, yeah, currently he has 18 or 19 50s and 500s.
Yeah.
He can improve that. You know, great players have almost 50-50 ratio. Yunus Khan has 3200s and 33 or 34 50s. That's the ratio that you want to get to.
Yeah.
Sachin has 5100s and I think 150s.
Wow.
Right? So
that stat is just astronomically different from the Yunus Khan stat.
I mean, Yunus Khan, YK10K.
Why not? Why not?
He's our brand.
Yeah, sure.
He's the goal for us.
I'll back Yunus all day. I love that guy.
Yeah. So I mean, so when you retire, people talk about Babar Azam, test player. He has this many centuries, right? So he needs to work on that, and
I
also
agree.
improving as a captain. I saw that Karachi Kings announced him as
Yes,
the
finally.
new captain,
Finally, man.
which I'm excited to see how he does that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. The PSL this year is gonna be entertaining as well. I think that's all we have to say about that. The Bangladesh series is wrapped up. We come home for the West Indies series. That'll be a delight to see. From us, I guess that's all on the vaguely familiar end. The backward point was resumed for this special, and now we're on our way out. Do you have any last thoughts before we say goodbye?
Yeah. Welcoming the West Indies team and hopefully no security threats.
Yes.
If you know, you know.
I think that's a good way to end it. We'll see you guys on the other side. Stay safe. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let's give us your thoughts on the Bangladesh series and how we should carry forward, and we'll reply to as many as we can.
Yeah.
Right?
Thanks.
Cheers. Take care. Bye.